Hi guys, Nada here, and today I'm going to talk about MSI's GT76 Titan gaming laptop, which I have right here. So this beast of a laptop has a 17-inch screen, it has a proper desktop i9-9900K, and it has a proper RTX 2080. So pretty much the most extreme specs you can find in a gaming laptop. Now this laptop actually came out a few months ago, but only recently MSI decided to reduce its price by 1,000 euros or US dollars. So I thought now it's a good time to compare it to some of the other extreme options out there, like the ROG Mothership, for example, as well as compare it to some of the more modest gaming laptops. Now, the fact that it's cheaper should not get your hopes up, because this machine still costs 3,700 US dollars or 3,800 euros here in the Netherlands. And that is for a 17-inch laptop with an i9 2080 2x 1TB SSD and 64 gigabytes of RAM. Now, the type of a display you're gonna get totally depends on where you are. So in the US, you can get a Full HD 240Hz IPS panel, while here in the Netherlands, you can only get a 4K 60Hz IPS panel. So this is what I have here. Now let's test it and see how it actually performs. Let's go. This video is brought to you by Cooler Master and their MM711 Ultra Light Gaming Mouse. With a top optical sensor, solid Omron switches, beautiful RGB, and a weight of only 60 grams, the MM711 is a great mouse for serious gamers and all-around users alike. Check it out using the links in the description below. As you would expect, the GT76 Titan is a bulky laptop. It's not even overly wide for a 17-inch laptop, but it is thick, and it is a bit deeper than most laptops due to the part in the back. And mind you, this is not a light laptop, it weighs over 4 kilograms. While most of the design is plastic, which doesn't look as fancy as some full metal machines do, build quality is actually really good all around and nothing feels fragile. The hinges are very solid and it just looks and feels like it can handle some regular use without you having to constantly worry about damaging it. The grey top panels are made of aluminum, and thankfully MSI opted for a nice finish that barely shows fingerprints at all. I personally like the neat grey and black combination and the relatively clean design of the top panel, as well as the inside. It's hard to hide it's a gaming laptop, considering the parts sticking out with huge vents in the back, as well as the RGB underglow in the front. Connectivity is pretty good as well. On the right side, you have an HDMI, DisplayPort, USB Type-C port, and 2 fast USB Type-A ports, plus a micro SD card reader, which I really think it should have been a full-sized one considering the size of this laptop. On the left side, you get 2 audio jacks, 2 more fast USB Type-A ports, a Type-C port with Thunderbolt support, 2.5 gig Ethernet connection, and the connector for the chargers. Now the Titan uses 2 chargers connected into 1 splitter modules. So that means if you're going anywhere, you need to take both. And in case they do break, you will have to contact MSI to get another of these unique contraptions. Also, if you plan to travel, don't forget to count the roughly 2.5 kilograms for your chargers alone. The keyboard of the Titan is pretty good as well, as we've come to expect from MSI. Decent travel and feedback, and with little flex underneath, make for a great typing and gaming experience. Do keep in mind that because of the thickness of the laptop, the keyboard is higher from the table than usual, and while I don't mind it, I guess that might be a concern for some users with sensitive wrists. One detail that I wish we'll get more on laptops in general is that pressing the function key causes only the relevant media keys to light up, making it much easier to spot the brightness and audio buttons, for example. Touchpad is good too. Some newer models, like the MSI Prestige 15, have shown that they'll be moving towards larger touchpads in general, which are a bit nicer, but this one is completely fine for some occasional non-gaming use. Now, as I mentioned before, this unit has a 4K 60Hz IPS panel because the 240Hz one isn't available here in the Netherlands. Now, from a gamer perspective, I do think that a faster display makes more sense. But this 4K 60Hz one is great for people that work a lot with video and with pictures and just have a more creative workload. Nevertheless, the performance of this 4K panel is actually pretty good. It is an Adobe RGB display. It has a very nice maximum brightness of 445 nits. Now gamma is spot on, contrast is great at around 1500 to 1, and the color calibration is great out of the box as well. These results would make any creative laptop look great. Now let's get to performance. And it will probably surprise no one that the MSI Titan with its desktop i9-9900K plus an option to overclock it to 5 GHz is in a completely new class when we look at CPU performance. The even more expensive ROG Mothership comes close with its i9-9980HK, but MSI takes the win in every CPU benchmark, both single and multi-core. If you're really serious about creative tasks like video editing, this machine will just crush any mainstream mobile Intel Core i7 laptop. In gaming, the Titan goes head-to-head with the ROG Mothership, and both are using a 200-watt RTX 2080. More importantly, they're in a completely different league when you start comparing them to the rest of the gaming laptops out there. So this will run everything at great settings today and in the foreseeable future, simple as that. Of course, this only applies if you're running your gaming laptop while it's connected to the wall. Surprisingly enough, the battery life is really not that bad if you switch to eco mode and just stick to some light tasks like office use or watching a movie or two. But if you game on a battery, you'll be out in about an hour. Like most other laptops, you can swap between different modes to balance performance, thermals, and noise. Earlier results were all with the PC in the faster sports mode, which is what I expect gamers to be in. This mode shows great thermals, with GPU and CPU temperatures being between 75 and 85 degrees Celsius, and that is really great considering how powerful they both are. But it's definitely very noisy. If you want, you can fine-tune performance, thermals, and noise to your own liking using the software. So, if you got a light sleeper next to you, just sacrifice a couple of FPS and you will be fine. Considering how complex this machine and the cooling solution is, it is actually very easy to open. Only a couple of screws stand between you and the internals. The main fans are easy to reach, you can easily add a third NVMe SSD if you want, as well as a 2.5-inch drive. The battery is easy to replace, as well as the Wi-Fi chip. It does come with Wi-Fi 6 though, so you probably won't have to. But it is not perfect internally either. The two smaller fans are not reachable from here, and 2 of the 4 memory slots are on the back of the motherboard as well. Then again, since you will either get a 64 GB of RAM or 32 with the 2 free slots being on the top, there isn't really much reason to upgrade. The webcam is your typical 720p bland cam you'll find on almost every other laptop out there, which is fine for that one time you'll care about it. And while the speakers are actually really nice for a laptop with plenty of volume and even a bit of a bass, you'll probably still want a good headset anyways. So that's about it for the MSI Titan, and I have to say it's been one of the coolest, best spec gaming laptops we ever got to test here in the office, because performance-wise, it is in a completely different category than the other machines. I mean, if you take a gaming laptop with an i7 and a proper RTX 2070, this one is going to be 20 to 25% faster, and that is just a lot. But who is this gaming laptop for? I mean, it's not really that mobile to begin with. It is clunky, it is big, it is heavy, it makes a lot of noise if you push for performance, and not to mention that the charger alone weighs more than a proper gaming laptop. So if you take a GS75, for example, it weighs less than the charger of this laptop alone. So pretty much you will leave this laptop home and game on it there, or maybe take it out 1 or 2 times for a LAN party, and that's it. So, in my opinion, buying a proper gaming desktop for at home and a GS75, for example, for on the go just makes more sense. You get best of both worlds. But if you don't want to go the desktop route, or you just want to buy the best performing gaming laptop out there, then this is definitely something you should look into. Because if you look at some of the other alternatives that have the same specs, like the ROG Mothership, for example, that costs 7,000 euros, or the Alienware Area 51M that costs over 5,000 euros, then suddenly this laptop starts making some sense, I guess. I personally would just take the money and spend it on a proper gaming desktop for at home and a proper gaming laptop for on the go. But that's me. You have to decide what is important for you. Now that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about this review and about this crazy gaming laptop. Don't forget to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and see you in the next one. Bye!